that should be the last one in part A or section A. Part H or question H. Given below are 5 sets of terms. In each case, arrange and rewrite each set so as to be in logical sequence. Very clearly telling you to rewrite each set. So we start off with the first one. You've got the tympanum, stapes, malleus, incus, and the organ of Corti. Now try and avoid making any marks on the paper, such as numbering these, because you could always be caught for malpractice. So besides ticking the questions off, try and avoid writing down answers on your sheet. I guess you should know that by now. But let's start off with this. Out of these, it's the tympanum that of course comes first. That's followed by the malleus, and then the incus and the stapes, all 3 of the ear ossicles in that order, and of course then the organ of Corti, which is inside the cochlea. So we've got all of them there taken care of. Number 2, the Graafian follicle, uterus, oviducal funnel, fallopian tube, and ovum. We start that off with the Graafian follicle. From there, the ovum is released. That ovum is going to travel into the oviducal funnel, down the fallopian tube, and finally the uterus. Now, one other thing to be kept in mind while you're doing this is that you must count each of these to check that you've included all of these terms. In your anxiety to finish the paper and to do well, you may end up skipping one term. That'll mean you lose your marks for that entire thing. So check it. Graafian follicle is done. That's there. You've got the ovum that is there. Oviducal funnel is there. You've got the fallopian tube which is there. And you've got the uterus that is there. All taken care of. Yeah? Handy to do something like that. Just do a double check. Number 3. You've got soil water, root hair, xylem, cortex, endodermis. Now this is one that they're very fond of asking in the board exams as well. This starts off at the soil water itself. The soil water is taken in by the root hair. They've been very kind to put that in the right order. From there, the cortex comes into play. We discussed this in the last question. From the cortex, it goes on to the endodermis, which passes it on to the xylem. And from there, it's sent up to the stem. So we've got soil water, we've got root hair, we've got cortex, we've got endodermis, we've got xylem, we've got all of them. Next, you've got the association neuron, effector, motor neuron, receptor, and sensory neuron. That's obviously, we start off with this receptor. Then you've got the sensory neuron. Then you've got the association neuron. You've got the motor neuron. And finally the effector. Done? Do a quick double check again. And then you move on to the next one, which is the lens, pupil, conjunctiva, yellow spot, and the cornea. So obviously you start that off with the conjunctiva, because you should remember that this is the outermost part that covers the exposed part of the eye. After that comes the cornea, which is the transparent part of the sclera, if you remember. After the cornea, you've got the aqueous humor, which is not there. And then you've got the pupil. Once you pass the pupil, you've got the lens. After the lens, you've got the vitreous humor, which is not mentioned. And then you've got the yellow spot or the retina also. Now, since retina is not mentioned, we'll settle for yellow spot. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Perfect. Okay, we're done with this question now.